I think that allowing for the book being, after all, a parody, something like 1984 could actually happen. This is the direction the world is going in at the present time. In our world, there will be no emotions except fear, rage, triumph, and self-abasement. The sex instinct will be eradicated. We shall abolish the orgasm. There will be no loyalty except loyalty to the party. But always there will be the intoxication of power. Always, at every moment, there will be the thrill of victory, the sensation of trampling on an enemy who is helpless. If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever. The moral to be drawn from this dangerous nightmare situation is a simple one. Don't let it happen. It depends on you.
What's going on, everyone? It's Nina Infinity. Welcome to my channel on this Wednesday. This is Breaking the Narrative, and I have here tonight with me the very amazing Mike Harlow. How are you, Mike?
Hey, well, I'm depressed after that. Like, awesome intro, but
I know, makes you think, right? You're like, oh
yeah,
wow,
not the most jolly one.
Oh my God. Okay, well here I'll change it up for you a little bit. Here's a funny one. Okay, here we go. Let me get you a nice funny clip. Oh, okay, we can intro Carrie as well because she's here.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
Oh, and wait, I have another one for you specially, Mike, because I know you're gay and I know that you will like this.
Flick too hard, damn it!
But also
I
there's
love how you
another
put them
one.
together.
Also, there's another one. Don't worry, Carrie. I'm bringing you right in. You and your beautiful hat. Don't worry. It's happening. I'm just trying to find this amazing clip that I have that I can't find right now. Where is it? It might be under my other tab. Okay, we're switching over for a second. This isn't good news at all. But it's got my other amazing clip on there. Okay, here it is.
I'm so sorry.
I'll survive.
I don't doubt it. You're an excellent specimen. I thought you were empty.
I just moved in.
I'm Charlotte Melville.
Hi. Sorry, I must have fallen asleep.
God, I hope we haven't frightened him off.
So what if we have?
What is that from?
Where can I move? Where are they living?
That's from a sci-fi movie. It's called The High Rise. And trust me, Mike, you don't want to move into that building.
It might be worth it. I'm just saying.
High Rise.
Yeah.
Hey, Carrie.
Hi, guys.
Look at your hat, Carrie.
Thank you. Thanks. Well, I just finished my show, but right before that, I took a late shower because we were working in the yard all day and my hair's wet, so I had to hide it with a big distracting hat.
It's beautiful. I love it so much.
Is your hair always wet then? That's why you always have big hats?
There's lots of reasons to wear big distracting hat. Nina knows she has curly hair.
I know.
Bro.
I need to get me more distracting hats is what's going on. But I'm so glad that you guys are here. Mike, this is kind of like the first time you're here though. So I want you to, for the people that don't know, kind of a brief introduction. Let everyone know who you are, where they can find you, what you're all about. Please take it away.
Someone in the chat just said, "Who the hell is Mark Harlow?" So I will tell you all about who Mark is. Can I get an "Oh hi, Mark" chat? Mark is wonderful. He does all the things. No, like Carrie, I'm a former liberal, former Democrat. I'm a writer and I have a YouTube channel. I make ridiculous videos, and I just sort of Substack for my writing and stuff. So it's sort of like a poo-poo platter of insanity. Like I'll do kind of impressions of these crazy people. Thank you, Alan. Like I have another Jeffrey Marsh video coming out this week. The creep of all creeps, or we'll do fun like movie nights and stuff. So I think it's kind of like my goal with everything to never have to talk about politics again, for things to change enough where we never have to talk about politics again. So I do all the commentary and stuff, but I try to do a lot of like more fun stuff. And I host a weekly show called Microaggressed.
Oh my God. Wouldn't it be nice to never have to talk about politics again? I would love that. And that's why I made the Good News Show. Cause I was like, all I was doing is talking about this kind of stuff and watching that clip, Mike. And I was like, man, this is depressing. I don't know how much more of this I can take. So I was like, you know what? Every Friday, it's going to be Good Friday. We're going to do good news. We're going to talk about good things and cute animals and all sorts of that kind of stuff. So you're going to have to come on now too, apparently.
It is the most fun.
That's awesome. So everybody check out both of these lovely people's links is in the description. And of course, you know her, you love her. She wears the hats. It's Carrie Smith. She's here.
Hello. Hey guys.
Hi.
Nina, I love seeing you, and I've been able to see you a lot recently.
I know. I'm kind of happy about that though. I'm not complaining. Are you complaining yet? Wait, is that a Bud Light? Did I just see a Bud Light can in your
Okay, it's a Red Bull. I know I shouldn't be drinking these, but when I do a late night show, sometimes I need one.
Just a little.
And I am phasing them out. I've only had 3 this month.
Wow.
This is my 3rd. Yeah. That's not bad.
I never got into it. Even when I was into soda, I like never got into Red Bull, even though I'm like a soda person. No.
I'm a Coke head. I'm trying to quit drinking Coke. That's like my last addiction standing.
I stopped drinking that like 20 years ago. It's been a long time since I've had a Coke. I mean, when I moved to Mexico though, I did have some because I had heard like Mexican Coke is totally different.
Oh yeah.
And it is different. It's freaking amazing.
Good.
It's really, really good. Yeah. Real quick, I just want to say thank you so much to Bird Up for the member message to say hit that like button, or like that hit button is what he said. So please do that. Yes, hit that like and share the stream. And also we are simulcasting on Rumble. So if you're down on YouTube and you're like, you know what, F YouTube, I don't want to support them. The link is in the description for the Rumble, so you can check that out as well. Now okay. It's been a while since I've talked to Mike. So Mike, what has been going on with you? Like, I know that you're an interesting person, especially on Twitter, because you're kind of problematic for the left. Like, I feel like they don't really know what to do with you because they're like, oh, he's gay. So he's got that card, but he also doesn't like grooming. So it's just like, well, what do we do with this guy? So I know that you kind of have been associated with Gays Against Groomers. Are you actually part of that group?
Yeah.
Okay. And so can you tell us a little bit about that group and what they're about?
Well, so they're sort of, I think basically, first of all, who would have ever thought that would be something controversial to say? It's fun, whenever they accuse people like us of being anti-gay or anti-LGBT, it's like you are the people associating that with grooming. So I think with all of these things, with mutilating kids through gender ideology, through sexualizing them, all of these things that are happening, once you divorce the magic words, the LGBT label from that, they have nothing. Then they would just be freaks trying to, do weird shit with kids.
Yeah.
That's the only way that they're able to get away with it, I think.
That is such a great point. That they're the ones that associate grooming with LGBT, that they have a problem with it with their, and you're like, no, we're against grooming. We're not against LGBT.
Right.
So why are you saying we're anti-LGBT?
It's weird.
They hear that in their minds. First of all, I'm at the point where I'm so sick of this forced teaming and this collectivism that I'm at the point where I'm just openly anti-LGBT at this point.
Oh.
I'm not
Okay,
anti-gay people. I'm not anti-lesbian, transgender. I'm anti-LGBT.
Okay, hang on. Because you said forced teaming. I've never heard that term before. Can you expand on that?
Ooh. It's so it's basically a manipulation tactic. It's very popular. I feel like it's very illuminating when you start reading about cult. Carrie and I both love true crime, so we know all this stuff. But once you start reading about cults and sort of the bite model and the different warning signs of a cult, all of these things start to make a lot more sense. So I think forced teaming is definitely something that narcissists in particular do, where they'll try to latch on to something or someone that has a good reputation or has credibility. In this case, it's these monsters latching on to gay people, because we're at a point now where the vast majority of people, nobody cares if someone is gay. And it's sort of always been, I feel like accepting gay people in the past, I don't know so much about now, has always been a kind of libertarian idea, like just leave people alone. It has nothing, what I do has nothing to do with you. It requires nothing of another person. Whereas this ideology now, it demands everything of other people. So I feel like that's why it's so crucial for them to force team with gay people.
That's really interesting. Yeah, because I often hear about old school, kind of like them, like the old school gays, talk about how they kind of regret having let the tease in. And you kind of, at first it's really difficult to understand, because you're like, well, aren't you guys like on the same team? Like, is that supposed to be a thing? Right. And then you kind of like realize that gay people they're not for a lot of the things the other letters are for. So they just want to be left alone, like what you said, and they just want to live their lives. And that was one of the things I remember growing up in the 90s, like that gay people used to say, live your best life, like go live your best life. And that's what they always wanted to do. But then somehow that turned into, let's force everyone to live this best life that we're telling them to live. And otherwise they're wrong thinkers, and otherwise we have to cancel them. And it was like, that seems really strange. But one of those weirdos, I feel like, that has been in the news a lot recently was this dude right here, this ex-Biden official, Sam Brinton. So he's been told that he has to undergo health evaluation in luggage theft case. Now, this guy didn't get any jail time, of course. And it says here, Sam Brinton, the disgraced former Biden administration official accused of stealing luggage on the last two separate occasions, has agreed to undergo a mental health evaluation as part of the Minnesota Adult Diversion Program. Brinton, who is non-binary and uses the they/them pronouns.
No.
Can the author of this article also undergo mental health intervention? Because
this person.
Because I just love it that I just want to interrupt for 1 second. It's
Please.
Not that he dresses, scroll down. It's not that he dresses like that it's not that he dresses like that as a member of the president's team. Okay, it's not that he also dresses in dog fetish wear. I don't know if you guys have seen those pictures, but he's into pup play. And he was in a magazine spread of photos of him in BDSM stuff, and then there was a guy with a dog mask on, and he's got a whip, and he's super into the pup play. He even goes to colleges and teaches pup play and kink at colleges. Okay,
what?
None of that is cause for society to say you have a mental health problem, not the pup play, nothing. Oh, but now it's come out that you stole the outfit. Oh, if you stole it, you have a mental health problem. Not the fact that you dress like a dog and have sex like a dog.
No.
I was gonna say, being a klepto is the least of his problems. God.
No.
Remember when gay people had taste?
Oh my God.
Look at that.
That was one of the things that I was going to talk to you about too, Mike, because it's like, what the hell is going on with gay people? I mean, not that like I see, not that Sam Smith is gay, because I don't know what the hell's going on with him, but look at what he's wearing recently. I'm just like, what
Yeah.
the fuck happened to
Oh,
fashion sense? Like,
he just looks like cottage cheese everywhere.
Yeah.
Ugh.
he looks like one of those hams. They get like, that they've got the string tied around it still, and you have to like,
Ew.
unstring.
Ew.
No, Nina, if I knew the answer to what exactly is wrong with gay people, I would be a much happier person in life.
I
asked
didn't mean
myself
that. I didn't mean it to come
question.
out like that. I mean, like, what's going on with their fashion sense? Because they used to be like the best fashion people out there. I mean, that the fashion industry is based on like, put on gay icons that are, they've made the fashion industry. But now we've got, well, whatever the hell's going on with this
Well,
dude here.
and some of
I've
the
come to-
outfits he stole are beautiful, and I would argue would be beautiful on a woman, or at least someone who's not wearing garish red lipstick. Look at that picture. Look at the lipstick.
Oh my
How bright it
God.
is, with a bald Mr. Clean head and a mustache. It's like he's on purpose taunting you, like, look, I'm a man wearing a lady's dress. He's not like, he doesn't go. I almost respect Dylan Mulvaney more, because he's trying to give us, he got the facial reconstructed surgery. It's like, give the
Ugh.
full package. This guy's like,
Ugh.
I'm part man, part woman, get used to it. I'm like, shut
Yeah,
up.
this is me.
Like-
This is me living my best self, and I'm gonna steal your luggage and wear your clothes while I'm at it. Like, what? And I think the craziest one was that like he stole the African woman's clothes.
Yes.
And started wearing
A
them.
Tanzanian designer, and she does beautiful work.
She does.
Oh no, we lost Nina.
Maybe she
On
went
her
off to
own
buy
stream.
some Tanzanian clothing. Or we
Okay.
could take over her show now, Carrie.
Well, Nina,
Don't say the N-word.
okay.
I was trying to back on that other article, and I pressed back on this article. Don't worry,
No
you
worries.
didn't get me yet. The gay mafia didn't get me, guys. Don't worry. Okay, hold on. Here we go.
I've
Wait.
come to realize, though, with people like this, I've come to realize what it is.
What is it?
You get the face you deserve.
Oh,
This is okay. Hold on, because this
he looks like
article,
a Batman villain.
has those outfits. He does look like a Batman villain. It's like Joker.
Yeah, there's a picture of him that looks even more Batmanish, where he's wearing like a maroon suit with a yellow background.
Oh my God. I think it was this one that had
Yeah.
the outfits.
Mr. Clean is having
Yeah.
a rough one.
Oh my God.
There you go. There's one of her outfits. She had several pieces of luggage stolen by this guy, this fashion designer from Tanzania.
I'm just picturing like tribal women wearing this gown, like in Tanzania.
It's so weird. I exited the original article. That one, I had all of the pictures with her dresses on him, and I was like, oh, this is so bad. Like the
You
fact that
guys,
this guy's
I wonder if the Tanzanian designer has said anything about this, because
Oh, she
she's gonna
did.
have to
She
pretend
did.
he looks
She did.
beautiful.
No, she came out and she condemned him. She was all over Twitter. I actually
Good for
asked,
her.
yeah, I asked her for an interview and she said yes. But then I got stood up. So
Oh,
I need to follow
no.
up. That's okay. That doesn't mean, sometimes people get busy. So I was like, whatever, I'll follow up
Yeah.
with her later and see. Because I would love to talk to her. I just love her fashion, actually. And I lived in Tanzania for a while. So I'm like, I want to talk to you
You lived in
about this
Tanzania? That
freak.
sounds really cool.
What?
Yeah.
How long did you live in Tanzania
Just
for?
half a year when I was in college. I
How
took,
have you never told me that?
I don't know. It's not relevant to my current life. I took Swahili for 4 years. And yeah. Yes.
How has this never come up in the years that we've known each other?
Can you say something in Swahili?
Let's see. Nakupenda Nina. I love
Oh.
Nina. I love you, Nina.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's so cool. That's
Or-
amazing.
Nimesahau maneno mengi. I've forgotten many words.
What did you
What is
you
that?
just say?
I said I have forgotten many words.
Oh, you literally said that. That's so funny. Oh my God, Carrie, it's like I feel like I'm getting to know a whole new side of you. Like that's so cool.
Well, it's probably changed a lot. I was there. This will age me, but I was there in 1999. I just love to see a Tanzanian designer coming up in the world. And if she has to, if her biggest claim to fame yet is that this freak stole her luggage, great. She should use it and work it and sell her dresses. Like, she does
She
beautiful
really
work.
should, because I mean, this guy's a flippin' weirdo. But so I think he's been ordered to, because it says in this article that he's been ordered to basically write her an apology. So in addition to having undergo mental health evaluation, Brinton will be required to write a letter of apology to the victim, return any stolen property, and perform only 3 days of community service. That's what he gets for being a freaking weirdo luggage thief. This is kind of weird to me. Would you guys have expected him to get like any sort of like more consequences if he, let's say,
I'm
if he
shocked
was a
he got
straight
this
man?
much.
You're shocked he got this much. What if he was a straight man? Do you think he would have gotten more?
Oh, yes. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if it was a
And
Trump
dressing
admin
like this or
person?
no?
What was that, Mike?
You mean if he was like a normal person?
Yeah, like a straight white male
Oh, throw the book at him.
in prison for years, probably. Yeah, because I
I
mean,
mean,
this
he
says,
literally did worse than a lot of people on January 6th did that are given way more consequences.
this says adult diversion programs are aimed at first-time non-violent offenders. Those who meet program expectation could potentially see their case dismissed. So this could be a dismissal. Had Brinton's case in Minnesota proceeded to trial and resulted in a conviction on a charge of felony theft of immovable property without consent, they could have been looking at a 5-year prison sentence. And I think that that's what would have probably happened if he was a straight white male. Probably the 5-year sentence.
Can I add some background, some context to this person, Sam Brinton?
Absolutely.
This is why he should never have been hired by the Biden administration in the first place. His background, he is a confirmed liar. So he became famous by doing a 2-part interview where he said that when he, among other things, he claimed all these outlandish kind of things. Not that this doesn't happen, but this has never been proven. He claimed that when he came out as gay at 11, his dad punched him in the face. He's also changed his story many times. He said his parents sent him to a gay conversion therapy in Florida. And he actually gave testimony before, I think it was Congress, might have been the United Nations, about his conversion therapy. He's changed the story multiple times. Sometimes he says it was a medical doctor. Other times he says it was a priest. He changed the amount of time he was at this gay conversion therapy place. Like sometimes it's 2 years, sometimes 3, sometimes a few months. I can't tell anyone where specifically the name of the conversion therapy place or who did the conversion therapy, the name of the doctor or the priest. Like, he's a liar.
Yeah.
And so just the fact that now he's known for this, but I'm like, if you dig into his background, this is a pattern with this guy that he's just
pathological liar.
A pathological liar.
Mm-hmm.
And you're interested in people with personality disorders, Nina. I think this guy has a big red flag on his face. Like, don't hire.
He's wearing the red flag.
He's literally wearing the red flag. He's like, hey, I'm here. Notice how many times he wears red. Like there's a lot of times he wears red. But it's like, you're right though, Carrie. And it's just like, to me, the idea that he even got hired by the Biden administration is such a weird thing, because you're like, is this person really qualified for the job that they're doing? Like that's one of those things where you're like,
is Pete Buttigieg?
I don't know.
Is Kamala, if we're gonna go down,
No.
Is Biden?
Yeah, I mean that's a great point, because no, I don't think he is. I mean, that man is absolutely just, well, he doesn't have the hold of his own faculties anymore, man. Like it's really freaking sad what's going on with him. But yeah, so this dude is basically not going to get anything. It's weird. He's only has to do like 3 hours of community service. I mean, I wonder what they're gonna send. I hope they don't send him to a school for community service.
Oh, they so will. Preschool.
Oh my God. He's going to be
That'll
like
be his
doing
community service, telling
his
telling
community service is going to be like drag story time.
telling kindergartners his story, his
Oh,
truth.
no.
His truth.
Oh no.
Oh, fuck. But it's funny though, because there's another person in the news. Actually, this just popped up right before we were about to go live, and I was like, "Oh, this is interesting." And Carrie and I have been talking about this guy for a couple of weeks now on Toxic Femme, but we found out. I mean, through this headline, because I kind of read through the article. Nothing has been released, but as of now, Jonathan Majors' issues is worsened as more alleged abuse victims cooperate with the DA's office. So I don't know if you're familiar or not, Mike, but Jonathan Majors is a person that's playing the character Kang in the new Marvel stuff. So in the new like Ant-Man, and he's going to be kind of like the new big bad in the Marvel movies. Well, I don't know if he's going to be moving forward. I know they got to pick right.
He took his role very seriously. It's method acting.
Well, he was let go yesterday. He was let go from his talent agency, and his job with Disney so far, Disney hasn't fired him, but it's questionable whether they're going to fire him or not. It's seeming like they're going to lean that way. But so far, nothing has really happened in terms of details. These are just, we were being told these kind of things based on basically very little information. We were told that we were going to get video evidence of what happened in the cab ride. Are you familiar at all with what happened with Jonathan Majors, Mike?
Just the headlines. I do remember hearing that. I don't know the details though.
So basically what happened was he got into a fight with his girlfriend in a taxi cab. And apparently he put hands on her. So they released and there was clear sign of physical abuse because she had to go to the hospital. He got arrested because they saw signs of altercation on her body. Some texts were later released that kind of were even more kind of damning for him, because it said something like to the notion of the girl was saying like, it was my fault. I took the phone away from him, and like that kind of thing. And it just all seems really bizarre. So I was thinking that like the reason that this guy is he's kind of being like the book's being thrown at him right now. But I was thinking if he was a man like the previous person that we were talking about, like if he was putting on a dress, or like Ezra Miller, and he was going by they, them, would things be different for him right now?
He should come out and say that's, I think it's very telling that was the very first thing that Kevin Spacey did, was say, I choose to live as a gay man. That's what he should do. He should say, I got very violent towards her because I was so tortured by being a gay transgender woman of color. And I mean, they'll probably give him more jobs. His career will be way better off.
Oh my God, you're probably right. I hate that.
Well, they still haven't fired Ezra Miller, have they?
Nope. And as far as I know, they're coming out with Flash. They let go of Henry Cavill for the following movies. They're like, Henry Cavill, you're too good looking, you're too straight, you're too white. We don't need you. So James Gunn's, well, that's my opinion of it. But James Gunn's going with a whole new universe. He's resetting the DC universe. And so with that, he's keeping Ezra Miller, though. That's one of the only people that he's kept. So it's very weird, but it's because his movie was in the lineup. So now all of these things, I mean, I think they should have just canceled the movie because they've had to do so many reshoots, and there has to be so much stuff done to it. It would have been
Michael Keaton? Is that the one that Michael Keaton was supposed to play Batman?
He's coming back.
I don't understand why they keep bringing him back. Michael Keaton as Batman, and they keep bringing him back as like second banana to all these irrelevant people.
Well, this is the first time. This is going to be the first time he's coming back as Batman for years. Like he's never come back.
They were going to bring him back as like a side character in that Batgirl movie that they canceled.
Yeah, but they canceled the Batgirl movie. And then did you hear that Elizabeth Warren and a whole bunch of people wrote the what's it called? What are they called, Carrie? What do they write? What do they write? They wrote a letter for the here, let me find it.
Studio?
They were doing a petition. Was it a petition or?
Yeah, to the lawmakers want the Department of Justice
Oh,
to investigate Warner Brothers Discovery merger, claiming it harmed workers and reduced content choice, cited Axe Batgirl in letter. She wants them to bring back. Elizabeth Warren wants them to bring back. Thank you, 200 Watts
She
Girls. That's what I was
would.
looking for. The Department of Justice.
She
I mean, it's
would.
just really funny because it's like, maybe stop making woke content and people will go, and then your movie won't get canceled. Like that's. I mean, the test screenings for Batgirl was apparently atrocious. So it just feels like that was a business decision that they made. But now here we are. But having said all of this, when I look at the situation like this with Jonathan Majors, where there's very little information out. Now, mind you, those texts were a little damning to me. I mean, I thought, well, it doesn't look as good for him because it just seems like he did put hands on her and it seems like they're in an abusive and toxic relationship. But we know from previous instances, like with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, that a woman claiming certain things doesn't necessarily mean anything, and they could be in a toxic relationship together, but it doesn't necessarily mean anything. And now we're getting kind of similar situation here. We don't know any information. We were told we were going to get a video. We haven't gotten a video. We were told that the texts were going to completely just exonerate him. They didn't. They raised more questions. And now here we are. He got let go from his talent agencies. And apparently more people are coming forward now. But again, we've gotten no details. So what are you guys' thoughts on this? Do you think it was too quick for his talent agency to let him go? Should he put on a dress? What is the solution? What are your thoughts?
well, if there are any Legion of Memers members who are watching tonight, I would ask, because I can't Photoshop for shit, but could you please take a full body picture of Jonathan Majors and Photoshop one of the Sam Brinton red dresses onto him and tag me and Mike Harlow and Nina Infinity and say, this is what Jonathan Majors' PR firm is probably recommending for his rehabilitation of his public image. Thank you. That would make me happy, because you're right. That is genius. And you know I mean, I used to work in entertainment. I know how cynical some of the PR firms are. And if he has a smart and cynical one, that's probably what they're doing. Please come out as a they, them. We can't rehabilitate your image otherwise.
Oh my God. And it's not even like, oh, come out as gay at this point. It's like, you need to come out as they, them, or trans.
Yes.
And that will be fine. But otherwise, gay is too simple.
That gay card is worth less than a Metro card nowadays.
Yeah.
It's the
so
transes world, and we're all living in it.
And he needs to shave his head bald like Sam Brinton and put on some very garish, very bright red lipstick.
Yeah, and he needs to go like Jada Pinkett Smith bald, and then like start just
Nobody could look that manly.
But look, as far as like the allegations go, yeah, it's too soon. I haven't seen enough I haven't made up my own mind. My first read, Nina, when we were reading those texts that were released the other night, I kind of agree with you. My first gut instinct is these read like an abused woman who's trying to cover for and excuse her boyfriend's abuse. However, I also know, like you said, that there are some women who have personality disorders who are willing to do things that normal people can't imagine. Like text stuff like that on purpose because they know it sounds like an abused woman's text messages. So I have no idea.
Or harm themselves.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of people in the chats. I mean, I didn't even think about that, but some people in the chats were like, maybe she did it to herself. You don't know. And I'm like, that's why it would be good to have the video evidence, because I mean, you don't know anymore. And I didn't think of that, because that's what usually you don't project your like we tend to project our kindness and our normal thought onto weirdos, and then weirdos think totally differently, and you're like,
Yes.
oh no.
So true.
Yeah,
Oh,
and so who knows? And we should always wait for evidence. Doesn't mean we can't have a gut feeling, but listen to your gut, but verify with evidence.
yeah, and innocent until proven guilty.
Yes.
I feel like that's something that we don't really do anymore, and I think that is a line of thought that kind of, especially on Twitter with like the the mob mentality, it just goes crazy, and people are just like, they just start piling on, and it's like, whatever you think, maybe reserve judgment until you have evidence of whatever that is.
Right.
Because again, not like, honestly, even these headlines, like, it's just like, what was given? There's nothing. It's just like, okay, as Jonathan Majors prepares for an May 8th court appearance on domestic violence charges, his PR problems are about to get bigger. Sources claim within the Matter tell Variety that multiple alleged abuse victims of Major have come forward following his March arrest and are cooperating with the Manhattan District Attorney Office. The prospect of more women waiting in the wings would mark a dramatic turn in case, and comes on the heels of Majors' publicist management firm cutting ties with embattled actor earlier this week. That's pretty much the DA declined comment, Disney declined comment, everybody's declined comment. Everything else is basically just bullshit in this article. It doesn't really say anything.
That's very interesting wording, waiting in the wings. And I'm not saying that has anything to do with this guy's guilt or innocence. It just shows the morals of the people writing it. It wouldn't matter if he was guilty, innocent. There are people waiting in the wings to go on their stage, the stage that we will give them.
Oh, I like that, Mike. I didn't even think about it like that, because words are really important. And the way this comes across is almost as if they're saying, like, these women were just waiting until there's an opportunity for them to pounce on this guy, versus they're actually victims, and they're saying, oh, maybe now we're brave enough to come forward. That's interesting.
Even look at the first sentence, his PR problems, not his spiritual problems, his legal problems, his anything, his PR problems. It just shows what they value.
What they value.
Right. That's right.
It wouldn't matter if he's guilty, innocent. They don't give a shit.
Because this is an entertainment paper.
Yes.
Variety. And that is exactly what they care about. Remember, they're so cynical.
They're just the scum of the earth, these people.
Oh my God. I love that you broke that down, Mike, because that's why the show's called Breaking the Narrative, because I want to do is break the narrative of the kind of bullshit that they spin at you, and it makes you think a certain way. And I didn't even think about that until you said that, because it kind of goes in your psyche, right? You're like, because you're constantly bombarded with this kind of language, and then you don't really realize it. Even the most aware people are kind of being put to, I wouldn't say sleep, but it's that's how propaganda works.
Yeah.
It just goes into your subconscious, and you're like, oh, I didn't think about it. Very interesting.
I think I'm very cognizant of that now, because I spent so many years just believing anything that CNN said, that MSNBC said. I just sat in front of it. If Rachel Maddow didn't say it, it didn't happen to me. So now I'm like, I look into every little syllable.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, now I want to read it more so you can break it down more. Jonathan Majors is innocent and has not abused anyone. We have provided irrefutable evidence to the district attorney that the charges are false. We're confident he will be fully exonerated, said Majors' attorney, Priya, whatever her name is, in the statement. I mean, isn't that what every attorney is supposed to say? Yeah. Even if they're like got a murderer, client, and they're like, they know for a fact this guy like murdered somebody. I'm not talking about Jonathan Majors. I'm just talking, generally speaking. And they're like, we're sure that like this person didn't kill the people that he, you say that he killed, because that's your job. Like, that is what you're supposed to say. You're not going to say anything else. The Creed 3-star was arrested on March 25th in the Chelsea neighborhood, Manhattan, charges on strangulation, assault, and harassment. Mm.
There's your opportunity. Be a they them. Say he should get who is it? His wife, his girlfriend, his
His
gumad.
girlfriend.
He should get the girlfriend to like dress up like a man, just dress very butch, maybe shave her head, grow some facial hair, and say that that's what the argument is about. They will give him GLAAD awards.
Oh my God. See, his PR firm needs to hire you. That's what's going on. It's like, oh, like reach out.
He could also take it a step further, and because now it's not, the trans epidemic among kids and teenagers has become so large now, with so many people, young people now saying, me too, I'm also trans. And the next thing on the horizon that's becoming very popular, and you can see this on YouTube, are the young people who are now saying that they have dissociative identity disorder
Oh my
and
God.
like multiple personality disorder, right? And so they do all these videos with their different personalities and stuff. He could do that. He could go that route. There hasn't been a celebrity that's done that yet. I'm waiting for the first celebrity to do that, but he could be the
I feel
one.
like that might be Ezra, like because Ezra's gone through stuff like that. Like he's like, oh my God, like I'm so into like the occult, but like also I hate everyone in Hollywood because they touched me. Like it's like, what are you talking about, dude? Are you like he's so fucking weird. Ezra Miller is just the weirdest dude that's ever walked the planet.
Have you ever seen his arrest video?
Yes, of course I have. It's
You just touched my penis. He touched my penis.
he's so cringe. It's so cringe.
But is it because he's so over the top and crazy? That's why they won't fire him. That's why he
I
hasn't lost
know.
anything.
They them.
Well, no. I think the reason they won't fire him, I think it's a little bit different. And somebody actually mentioned this in one of my comments about Jonathan Majors, because I was like, oh, just put on a dress, Jonathan. And they pointed out the reason that he's not gonna, that putting on a dress it won't help Jonathan Majors is because Jonathan didn't get on his knees and do stuff and know where the moles are for many of the Hollywood people, whereas an Ezra did from a very young age. So he knows where the moles are on a lot of these Hollywood people. And I think that's the reason that he's not getting fired. But got a bunch of super chats. So we're going to get into these and then we're going to go into another topic.
By the way, is he like, because I hadn't heard of him before this, is he like overtly woke? Does he talk about politics?
Jonathan Majors?
Yeah.
As far as I've heard, no. Like, I mean, he's been pretty quiet, like on the DL. Like he hasn't, like as far as I know, he hasn't expressed political views. I mean, I'm sure he's a lefty, but like I just assume that because he works in Hollywood,
If he's not a full-time mouthpiece for the agenda, then that could be a reason as well.
That is interesting. Yeah, no. Carrie, because you've been on Toxic Femme, do you remember any of anything that we talked about where he's said anything political? I don't remember anything political he said at all.
No, I don't recall anything like that.
Yeah, he's not like a Mark Ruffalo or something, like, because he's always like,
no.
Every second, no.
Well, or Ezra Miller.
Yeah, or Ezra Miller. That's right.
He spouts the ideology to people.
Mm-hmm. That's true. 200 Watt Studios for $5 says that guy has a lot of baggage. He should be checked in to. No charges. They don't fly. Is the case closed? 200 Watt Studios. But thank you for that. Braz Monkey for $1.99 says at Asi Hassin 1 is the designer. Yes, on Twitter. That is her. Thank you, Braz Monkey. And we got Duke Devil 95 for $5 says chiming in as a former prosecutor. This is not an unusual punishment for a offender with minimal criminal record. It happens all the time. Okay, that's interesting regarding the luggage thief guy. Regarding the luggage thief.
I agree. I just think he would have been given a harsher punishment if he were the wrong kind of person.
I kind of agree with you, Mike. I don't know. It just feels like that nowadays. Maybe it's not. Maybe we're putting too much into that. But
we were the assholes.
Yeah.
I would argue if that's, I believe you Duke Devil 95. By the way, I'm Duke Devil 96. Good to see you. Uh, I think it should be worse though. If this is not unusual, like it should be. Like in general, if you are stealing people's luggage from the airport, you're not just stealing, like in the case of the designer, he stole thousands of dollars worth of her one-of-a-kind designs, but you're also stealing stuff that's personal and sentimental to people. It's not just the money value, it's the sentimental value of what we carry in our luggage at airports. And I really feel like theft should be treated more severely, especially theft of luggage. That's just me.
I agree with you, Carrie, but I
would
also think
slow
it
you
should be
down.
taken under consideration of like individual cases. Like for example, right? Let's say you're a non-violent offender, like this is your first time, you're a little klepto, blah blah blah, and you're like, you know, you're a young dude, you don't know what you're doing, or gal, whatever, and you do something like this. You're being stupid, right? You're not a fucking Biden administration worker that works for the government and in this very big job. Like you're not that should be taken into consideration for me. Like the kind of responsibility this guy has for his day job should be taken into account. Because if you don't like, how do we trust you as an individual in society if you're going around robbing luggage to be a nuclear technician or whatever like his job was? I
Like
mean,
the
it's just
context should be, you're supposed to be trusted. Society is trusting you to
Mhm.
work on our behalf, and you're a klepto. Like, absolutely, I agree. I'm becoming more about just like harsher sentences. Like, by the way, let me correct the record. My brain was on my high school graduation year, which was 96. I am a Duke Devil 2000, so I'm a little bit further
I
than
know
when you
you
were
meant
there.
that.
But anyway,
No, but I think if you look at any other public figures who have done the same thing or probably less, Winona Ryder.
Winona,
She
yeah.
did,
Yeah.
I would say, less than he did. I don't remember the specifics with her, but I know she stole from a department store. These were one-of-a-kind things, thousands of dollars. So there's no way that her crime was so much worse than his. And she had to go to trial for months.
I remember that. I think she like stole some perfume or makeup or something. It was something
jewelry and
retarded. Yeah,
stuff.
like it
Like
was
she
really
was like,
stupid.
yeah, and stealing from department stores. Again, the victim there, not that that's okay, but the victim is not a person, and the stuff that you're stealing doesn't have sentimental value to them. I feel like what he did is so much worse than what Winona Ryder did.
Yeah, and like I said, it's just like
Cruel.
his job. Yeah, cruel and
Like when you're standing there at the airport and you're waiting for your bag, and if it doesn't show up, that sucks.
Heart attack.
have you guys
I think.
I don't think you've seen it, but have you guys ever watched the show called Trailer Park Boys?
No, but I know so many people who try to get me to watch that with them, and I'm just like, please. No.
Well, there is an episode in Trailer Park Boys where because it's a bunch of fucking weirdo hick Canadian Trailer Park Boy guys. It's an amazing show. You guys need to watch it. But these guys, they do anything to get money and like, you know, to get weed, to get money, to get booze. So one time they go like stealing luggage because they're like, you know, we want to go and freaking like, you know, we got to get some shit. So this one guy who's kind of like a wigger, like he's like a white guy, but he talks like a black guy, and he's just like he is the embodiment of a wigger, but they accept him as like black, like his black friend says like he's black, he's basically black. This is old school comedy that wasn't thing. But anyways, they go to the airport and they're like stealing this luggage, and then they're like, they had this one girl pretend to be pregnant so that they can get away with it better, and like it's like the funniest episode they could possibly that you watch about this kind of situation. It's really bad, and then they were using it to like sell the clothes to like different people so that they can make money. They had basically made a thrift store from all the luggage that they had stole. It was freaking crazy. But when you watch that episode and then you think to yourself, oh my God, the Biden administration guy is a trailer park boy. Like he's going around robbing people of their luggage. It's actually insane to think about someone in that height of government and that height of responsibility being as bad as a trailer park fucking weirdo hick. Like it drives me crazy when I think about the amount of responsibility this person had and the amount of, you know, respect that was garnered with that kind of career and that kind of environment. And then you find out, oh, this guy's just a freaking luggage thief and
It's like
dresses up like a fucking puppy,
like a
apparently.
puppy and goes
I
to
was going to
college.
say, like Carrie said, that's the least of it.
See,
I
this
know.
is I had an argument back when back before all the luggage thievery stuff came out about him, when he was first appointed to the position. I posted some of his pup play pictures and I was saying, you know, this guy should not be in charge of anything. And some of my more libertarian minded friends were arguing with me and they were saying, you know, well, what does what he does in the bedroom have to do with this? I'm like, this isn't what he does in the bedroom. This is what he does in public. He's
Yeah, that's
pushing
why
it.
I know about it.
That's
Why do
why
I know about it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
This isn't what he does in the bedroom. Part of his public persona, and I think this is true for a lot of fetishists, is they get off on waving in your face, on being able to transgress in public. And he did that in multiple ways. One, with the crazy outlandish outfits he would wear. Two, with the pup play and stuff in magazines. And three, he did it by stealing people's luggage. Part of him had to get off on the fact that he was stealing things that belong to other people. Again, different than Winona Ryder, who's stealing from these, you know, these fancy department stores. He's stealing your luggage and he's getting off on wearing your clothes and your clothes. You know, that's a fetish.
Oh my God.
And
I
you
just
know
looked it
he
up.
was probably wearing her underoos.
Oh
You know
no.
We should
Yes.
only refer to him from now on as they Nona Ryder.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So there's a whole photo spread of lots of pictures like this. There's also pictures of him doing the pup play stuff at universities. Universities bring him in to teach your, you know, your 18 to 21-year-olds about kink. You can learn this at university now.
That's what I was saying before, though, is that it used to be back in the day, their motto was get the government out of people's bedrooms. Now they want to make the whole world your friggin' bedroom.
Yes.
Oh my God. I didn't even know about this, Carrie. That's
The pup stuff. Yeah.
yeah, man.
I
that
tried to
adds
scrub
a
it from my
whole
brain.
new level of crazy,
There he is.
man.
You know who's sitting on the floor there wearing a dog? University students.
Young kids.
Yeah.
Young, impressionable.
I don't get the appeal. Is it just me?
No,
Because
it's
I'm
not just you.
constantly wondering that these people are into some weird shit, and I'm like, I don't get the appeal.
Oh my God. I don't get the
Even
appeal
They
either.
bark.
They
They
do.
woof.
I've seen videos of some of this stuff. They really act like and actually in the interview that goes along with the photo shoot he did, they try and explain what it's like to do puppy play and how freeing it is to let go of language and to, you know, use their barks and their body to wiggle their tail and, you know, to communicate in this way. And it's a bunch of just crap. Like,
Well, it's kink,
this
right? Like
guy.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like kink has become normalized. Like that's one of the things that like has happened in the society, especially with TikTok and stuff. Like they've normalized kink, and kink didn't
Yes.
used to be normal. That's why it was called kink. It was called taboo, so that you're not like
Yes.
it's not a normal thing. Like this is something that's unhealthy that people do behind closed doors because it's not normal. And like one of the other things that has happened, I know like one of the kink things that are out now is like men who pretend to be babies and they like
yes.
they do the like the weird cuddle stuff.
I
Mike, are you okay?
I was just getting flashbacks that I once had a roommate who was this gay guy. And I found diapers in the closet.
No.
And like he was
No.
this insufferable gay guy, so I made him move out. Months later, a friend of mine sent me, they found his Grindr profile, him in diapers.
Oh no.
But I have a point to this. I do, because I think there's just too much. It's too much. There's too much stuff. It's too much with the apps and the porn. It's too much. So I think, because especially for gay guys, I think all of this is too accessible. It's too easy. There's too much of it. So they keep finding the next thing and the next thing.
Yes.
And it keeps having to
Okay.
get fucking weirder.
Agreed.
Nina, so Mikey and I have talked about this a lot off camera, just as friends. Mikey's actually very conservative, which a lot of people, I mean, conservative personally, not just, I'm not talking about politics or policy. I'm talking about conservative personally, which a lot of people don't. They have this stereotype of gay guys being a certain way. And they'll be shocked with Mikey because he's so open and big-hearted and shares so much of his life on Twitter. And then they find out, like, wait, you've been dating this guy for how long, and you guys haven't had sex, because he's conservative. Like, he's like, you are, and it's a good thing. And I love our conversations are so interesting. Anyway, one of the things we've talked about is that I think if you allow me to just for a second, our society culturally, we've gotten so far away from what's meaningful and purposeful in life that people keep trying to fill this hole in themselves with more and more greater, crazier taboos. They're like chasing, trying to feel something. And it's like, how much more can I do? How much? And like an addict with drugs and alcohol, a lot of people are pursuing and worshiping sex. And they're getting to this place where it's crazier and crazier. And it's like Mikey just said, the next taboo, where you've got straight guys now who are like, I'm getting into the trans stuff, or I'm getting into this, or the pup play, or the diaper wear, or whatever, because they can't get off anymore. And because they've gotten to such a place, you're sipping the tea, but I'm serious. Well, people get to this place where they're dead inside and they keep chasing the next thing. And you know what? You know where that road leads? You know what's more taboo than taboo than taboo than taboo? Some of the worst things imaginable in history, like pedophilia, like having sex with dead people, like all this stuff. Like, where do you keep going? Where do you go? And
incest,
incest,
that's one of the stuff. That's
places.
some of the stuff that's coming out now, like pedo stuff, incest, and I think Mike fucking nailed it on the head. And I think it's the accessibility of porn that's one of the major problems of what has happened. And and I think porn has really altered people's minds about what healthy sex is.
Yes.
And I think that that's what you fucking nailed it, Mikey. Like a porn star, you nailed that shit. It's that's what's going on. Like, it's like there is so much accessible porn, and that's like the basic stuff is like nothing anymore. It's like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, that's now we got to go and find the next thing. And it's just like being a drug addict. Like, Duke Devil just said it too. Like, being a drug addict, and you're always looking for your next hit, and it's got to be stronger because it's not going to be the same way of getting off. And then you said this, Carrie, and you're so right. It's because we're all so spiritually bankrupt. A lot of people are so spiritually bankrupt and don't have a connection. Like, that spiritual connection is lost. Like, especially, I mean, I would like to say atheist people, but it's pretty much everybody now. Like, it's a lot of people that are just very lost and confused, and they're trying to grasp something. And it's very interesting. This conversation is so enlightening. You guys are so right.
I knew one of the people I worked with when I was in entertainment was one of these people who kept chasing and chasing. I was chasing too. I just wasn't as far along. I was also had my hedonism phase. But this person was much further along and got to where was in an open relationship, but not really open, because was hiding all the other sexual partners from the spouse. When the point of an open relationship is you're supposed to be open about it and not
right,
and not
that's
be
why it's called open.
Right. So it wasn't really open because the taboo that this person was getting off on the secrecy of keeping it hidden. Also started going to these sex clubs and sex parties and being publicly humiliated, where they would go out with a bag over their face naked in the street and have someone publicly humiliating, doing sex acts to them in San Francisco, things like this, where it's like, again, you get so far removed from being able to feel something. Like an addict, you keep chasing, like, what's more taboo, what's more taboo, what's more taboo. And I would argue that you're going to continue to feel empty and keep pushing the limits because you're looking in the wrong place.
Right.
And
exactly.
It's not in booze and it's not in sex. These are all pleasures that are meant to be enjoyed, not to be chased and worshipped like purpose. And when you chase and worship alcohol or sex like it's God, you're going to go to some really dark places. So,
and it's something that like, and this is why the porn thing comes up, because I feel like that's why it seems like a lot of people are getting into it at such a younger age.
yeah.
And I think that's why I think porn is such a big problem, because kids are having access to this kind of information and they're just being bombarded with this kind of scenery. And of course, is doing something to their psyche. It has to be. And so like, and I wonder, having this conversation, have you guys heard about this guy that Chris, I forget his name, that just recently went trans? He works for Mr. Beast. He's a YouTuber.
Yes.
So Mike, what do you guys think about the situation? Because I thought, like, I've had several thoughts about it, because it came out, there's because at first it seemed like he was one of those people who didn't like that ideology, because there's clips of him talking about trans movement and how it's silly, because it's it's this like, he had a video going around of him pretending to be a plane and being like, I was born in the wrong body, and like blah blah blah. And then as things have started to come out, more information has come out about him, he just seems like he's been kind of like going downhill for like a long time. So, and I thought like initially I was like, maybe it's because he watched too much porn. Like I was like, maybe it's because it just seems like such a weird decline. So I was wondering what you guys thought about it. Mike, what'd you think?
Let me tell you something. First of all, kind of related to what we were just saying. You go on any app, Tinder, Grindr, whatever. Half the people on there are either trans or only want someone who's trans.
Mhm.
That wasn't the case a couple years ago. So I think that's very much related to what we were saying about it keeps getting weirder and they have to keep looking for the next thing. We can only hypothesize what's behind it. I think it's very clear that it's not authentic. This is not just a person with body dysphoria. Like it's very obvious. I feel like you can tell in those cases. So who knows? It could be sexual, it could be for attention, it could be a million things. I genuinely feel sorry for Mr. Beast, because he's one of the only people left in this sort of mainstream culture that's not super political and not woke and doesn't really talk about politics. So I kind of feel bad for him, because he's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. That if he takes a stand, then everyone will hate him and he'll be a transphobe. If he takes a stand if he does anything other than, just worship this Chris person. But otherwise, if he doesn't, then he has this liability hanging off of him that's now going to make all of his work political. He's screwed either way.
It's unfortunate, because I really like Mr. Beast, because I told you I do that good news show, like the Infinite Hope, right? And one of the things that I've covered several Mr. Beast stories where he's helped so many people. And so it really, really hit like kind of like close to home when I heard about the story, because I agree with you, Mike. Like I feel a little bit of something for Mr. Beast as well, but it's weird because they've cultivated this audience of family. It's family friendly. It's family, like it's very catered towards kids and family and blah, blah, blah. And now all of a sudden this guy's like this, and it's going to be just so problematic if Mr. Beast doesn't back him up for him and all this stuff. And it's going to become political. It's so it just feels all sorts of wrong. Carrie, what do you think of the situation?
Do you know my friend Sarah Higdon? Or
Yes.
Mikey's friend too? Okay,
Yes.
so Sarah, who's trans, had some interesting points to make about this story and said some of the most concerning things that Chris has said online are actually some old tweets and posts and stuff about being attracted to lollies, which
The
are these
lolicon stuff. Yeah.
lollies, which are these sort of like underage, or at least have the appearance of being underage, like
Yep.
Lolitas, girls that look young, look underage, that's like what he's into. And so when you say maybe he's watched too much porn or something, I happen to think, just my opinion, no evidence of this, but my gut reaction on him is there are a lot of people who are now claiming to be trans who don't actually experience gender dysphoria, who haven't lived with, like you just said, their whole life, haven't lived with this their whole life of feeling like they were born in the wrong body. that what they're doing now is you're getting a lot of the fetishists who are being lumped in with the people with gender dysphoria, and they're all under the umbrella now of
Exactly.
trans.
Yes.
And the fetishists are the auto, what used to be called autogonophiles. They get off on themselves being dressed as what they're attracted to, women,
Mhm.
or in Chris's case, lollies. So I wouldn't be surprised if his like new feminine persona doesn't start to look a little bit girly, like young girly, because that's what he's into.
Yeah, dude. I
And
think you're
very
right.
interesting how it's always these types who you're always going to find a background of tweets like that. You're not going to find that from one of us. You're not going to find that from Sarah Higdon. You're not going to find that from legitimate people.
Yeah.
It's always these types who suddenly become trans. It's the fetishists, like you said, Carrie.
It's the fetishists.
Ooh.
And people who experience gender dysphoria, who are trans, like who their whole life felt they had a problem with their physical body, they can't stand being lumped in with the fetishists.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that I have a problem with is that, and I've had this discussion with Chrissy Mayer before because she interviews a lot of porn stars. She's really into really open with her sexuality and stuff like that, and we've had this discussion where she said I think that kink shaming should be brought back. And I agree with that. I agree. I think kink shaming should be brought back. I think it's weird when people do weird things like this. And it's just this, the fetish has become this normalized thing. And I disagree with it. I think that it shouldn't be normalized.
Thank you.
Should not be normalized at all.
That's one of those things
tweets we were
that
talking
more
about.
people get pissed off about me saying basically that, than anything I say.
That
Yeah.
fetish that it should
And
that
I
kink
think
shaming.
it's because so many types of people, so many people have been touched by this, have never known anything except porn everywhere and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's also the other funny thing about all these kinks becoming normalized now, and what you do in the bedroom's not in the bedroom anymore. It's all out in public. It's actually maybe it's having, just like with woke, there's a silver lining, which is that the more mainstream and the more oppressive and suffocating it gets, the more people get sick of it. I feel that way about kinks. It's so out in the open and mainstream now, and so boring that when I'm on a show, I don't mean to hurt anyone's feelings who might be watching but sometimes I get bored when people keep bringing it back to just sex stuff. So I'm it's so boring. How can we talk about something interesting?
Yeah, can we talk about something else? Yeah.
and it's I just feels kind of old now. It's so 2005 to be here's what I like in the bedroom. I know we were all at sex conventions back then.
Yeah.
Going to porn conventions, weren't we? I was back then.
100%.
Now-
I was, but I want to hear about this chapter of the Carrie Smith saga.
chapter-
Oh
the
my
Carrie
God!
Smith saga.
From going
Yeah.
to Tanzania to going to sex conventions, this is a whole new fucking
She is
side.
going
of
to
Carrie.
have
That
the
was
most
back
epic
then.
book one day.
It's so old, and I feel it's so boring. And this is a joke I've tried before. I'm trying to figure this out because it's a real thought I have, but it's also funny. Tell me if I express this correctly. When I became a Christian and I started going to women's Bible studies and stuff, and I was really sincerely pursuing God, pursuing truth, pursuing meaning, and all this stuff. And anyway, I was the last person I ever thought would be doing that. But I remember hanging out with some of my Christian lady friends. We were having a lunch, and they were women who had grown up in the church their whole life. And so I was talking to them about some of my years in hedonism and all this crazy stuff, and I actually said to them, none of those subcultures are taboo anymore. They're all out in the open now. All the kink stuff, the pop stuff, the BDSM, all of it's out in the open. Actually, the weirdest, most boundary pushing subculture out there right now is ladies' Bible study.
Wow.
That's underground, the fact, because it's so crazy and taboo, to go to a lady. Oh, who would do that in this culture, right?
I mean, you're so right, because that's actually been one of the things. That's why this whole thing about trad wife is becoming a thing now. It's we're making this trendy now, but
Yeah.
technically traditional housewives and traditional women that wanted to stay home with the kids, experience was taboo for a very long time. Like women who said, I don't want to basically, I don't want a career path. I want to be a mother and I want to stay at home. Women wouldn't tell each other that anymore because it became so freaking taboo to be in that kind of person, to want to go to church, to want to be a fucking family person. Like
it's
it
so
was
uncool, right? It's nobody does that, right? That's why. And then if you go like with me, a fish out of water, being at one of these, seriously, it did feel like, what is this you guys meet every week in somebody's living room and talk about the Bible? How crazy is this?
Weirdos. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Duke Devil. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike. No. Go ahead.
I was just saying, Carrie, do you remember when we were sitting in your living room looking at all the apps on my phone, like the Tinder, the Grindr, all of that, and there were like these 50-year-old men dressed up as Catwoman and
it was gross,
all gags in their mouths,
and they put them.
And I was like, now do you see why I'm single?
Nina, the thing is that sucks is a lot of these dating apps, they won't separate out trans people because they think that's offensive and not inclusive. So like, for example, if Mike is looking to date a man, they'll put all these trans men in there, like biological women. And it's like, that's
what
not, but
that's not what he's attracted to.
And then more than half of them are like only looking to date someone trans.
Well, and then they're like, then the media backs them up and they're like, if you don't find that attractive, then you're anti-trans. Like if you don't like dick, basically. Like
for you.
If you're a straight man and you don't like trans women, you're a phobe or whatever. And it's like, no, it's like, and that was the other thing that we talked about with Chrissy Mayer. Like, please bring back preferences. Like, what's wrong with having preferences? There's nothing wrong with it. We used to be like, yeah, I'm attracted to this, I'm attracted to that. And then nobody's allowed to say that anymore. Because if you say you're attracted to something, it's like you're either a racist or you're something. I don't know. Who cares? Like, whatever. It's just crazy.
And I think to tie it into what we were saying about porn and stuff, it's not just that. It's, I think, it's bad for everybody, but I think with gay men, or maybe now a lot of straight guys that are sort of going that way, whether it's gay stuff or trans stuff, maybe for some of them, just because it's so easy, it's too easy. It's not just porn and stuff. You have apps like Grindr that show you people in the order of how far away they are from you. You could literally press a button and send somebody a map to your place, your location. Don't have to speak a word to them. People sending every orifice of every inch of their body, and nobody will say this is not normal. This is normal to a lot of people. There are probably kids on there. Now they're teaching it in schools. One of these books that a lot of people are trying to get taken out of schools is teaching them about Grindr. And I'm like, this is an app that has robbed a generation of gay men of their souls, and you want children on there? It's so sick, and nobody takes a second to realize and think about just how sick this is, that you basically now have an entire generation, not just whether it's Grindr, whether it's OnlyFans, you have an entire generation cosplaying as porn stars.
Wow. That's so interesting that you just said that. It's so true. So true.
It sucks.
It does suck. I feel so bad for this generation, man. Like, they don't have a chance. 201 Studios for $2 says adult diversion is what he used to steal luggage. Oh my god. Duke Devil 95, thank you for the $5. Says Mayor P couldn't fill the potholes in South Bend so make him Secretary of Transportation. He'll do great between vacation and paternity leave. I don't know about this guy, this Mayor Pete guy. I don't know about him at all.
Buttigieg.
Speaking of preferences, can we just acknowledge Mayor Pete has to be the most unsexual person I have ever seen? Can you imagine waking up in the morning and seeing that little elf face?
I think you're right.
Mortimer Snerd.
This guy. Yeah, I'm so bad with names. Yeah, he's not very good looking. Oh no. Look at this. Look at this picture.
An elf face.
He does. I never thought about it like that. He does.
Like one of those ventriloquist dummies.
Oh,
right?
He does. He does. He looks like one of the vengeful. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, this is funny. Also, Duke Devil, thank you so much for gifting 10 memberships to the chat. That is so kind and generous of you. Very much appreciated. Thank you so much for that. Oh my God, this guy's such a loser. 200-watt studios for $2 says, important question. Does his carpet match the drapes? Ew, 200-watt studios. No one wants to know that answer.
Which one, Baldy?
Yeah, Baldy.
I bet it does. I bet he gets like waxing done all the way around.
Full body. Yeah.
Oh, look, I was going Brazilian. Oh.
Can I tell you guys something horrible?
Yes, of course.
This came up on my Twitter like a week ago, and I'm still traumatized. And I think they were promoting it. So I'm like, why is this being promoted to me? I don't even want to know.
So now you want to
It's some
traumatize
dude
us.
getting
Okay,
his
go for it.
Balls waxed.
Who got his balls waxed?
Some dude, I don't know.
It was
Why
an ad.
would anyone do that?
Did you see it? Like, did they actually show it? Oh. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt.
I don't know why anyone would do that.
Well, I mean,
Razors.
I go
If you
clean.
must.
I'm into the clean look, and
Oh,
it's
it's a
painful.
razor.
No, it's better when it's wax because it's it's a lot
But you
more.
wanted balls. Or
Yeah,
maybe
with
you do.
the
I shouldn't
I don't have
assume-
balls. I don't
I
have
shouldn't
balls.
assume such things.
Yeah, see, I don't have balls. So for vaginas, it's better. Carrie, maybe you can back me up on this. I don't do the
actually
razor
have-
thing.
I don't have any idea.
You have no idea. No opinion on this. Okay. No,
I
worries.
don't.
That's okay. That's
I've
okay.
said too much already.
I always drag you into these conversations,
This
Carrie.
is
I'm
like the
sorry.
taxi cab
I don't know why you're
confessions
friends with
stream of
me.
fucking Carrie Smith. That's amazing. Verda for $5 says, look up the video of Biden walking away from his podium, standing around like he's lost. This pudding bear is our president. I've seen that video many times. I've seen it. Leave the balls alone. I like them clean. I like them clean.
Totally.
It's true. It's true.
Totally? On a guy, I mean.
Okay, not totally. But yes. Yes, in terms of like, look, I don't like to floss. Let's just say that. Like with hair. Like, no. Ew. I don't want a hair floss. But that's all I have to say about that. Okay, moving on. 201 Studio. What?
Can I just think real quick? I know it's not a super chat, but core member did
Sure.
the meme. Who's a member of the Legion of Memers? Did the
Oh,
meme we
they-
asked for?
They
Thank you
got
so
the
much.
meme.
Yes.
Share it, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here, I'll send it to you.
Also, it wasn't a chat, but I wanted to say hi, Esteban, because I love him.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh, you put it in the private chat. I was like, where's the screen share? Okay. There we go. Oh my God. Oh no.
It's
It's
perfect.
great.
They
It's so good. You can't even tell it's not him.
I know. It's so good.
Oh
Core
my
member.
God. Amazing job. That's great. Wow.
Jeez.
Oh God. I feel like because who was it? Duke Devil said that. Like, I can't wait for Jonathan Majors' apology tour. And I'm like, that's gonna be the apology tour. Like, he's gonna come out and this dress.
Yep.
Charges dropped.
Charges
Majors
dropped.
went.
And then they're going to be
So true.
apologizing to him.
Yep. 201 Studio for $2 says, come on. His girlfriend apologized to him for what he did. He's talking about Jonathan Majors. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I touched your phone. Please, I deserve the beating.
I don't understand people like that.
I don't understand anybody anymore.
Same.
Duke Devil for $5 says Major's lawyers are acting more like his PR agents and his defense attorneys. Wrong way to go. Defend your damned client. That's their job. Agreed. Danny says for $2, you guys made my day. Thanks, Danny.
Ooh, look at that picture.
Wow, he's good looking.
Now
huh?
that's a profile picture.
There you go. Very nice. Russell Hall's here for $2. Says that man's a hero. You turn him loose. Wait, who are you talking about? Are you talking about Kang?
Jonathan Majors.
Oh my god.
Oh, I thought he meant they know no rider.
They don't know, right? Oh god,
I think he means like
How long
if
does
he came out
cantaloupe
as
juice stay good?
yeah.
What?
What'd you
How
say?
long does cantaloupe juice stay good? Sorry, I didn't realize I said that out loud.
Does it have an expiry date? You should look at the
No, I
expiry
made
date.
it and I put it in the book. We'll find out.
Oh. Wow, I don't know. I think it's just
luck.
stayed
Still
good
good,
for
still
a
good.
while.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I was thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know. I think it should stay good for a while.
It's good.
200 Watt Studios for $5 says Majors doesn't give woke speeches. He lets his fists do the talking. Wow. He chokes a bitch. He's just like, you know what? I'm gonna joke a bitch now. 200 Watt Studios for $2 says he stole my bags. He was wearing my underwear.
I love your chat.
Also for another $2, that dog don't hunt, but it do play belly rubs. Ew! Ew! Talking about that guy.
I was gonna say, guys, did you see that picture of the dog dudes on the floor? I'm like, imagine if one of them just like lifts his leg.
No, that's gonna be the next
bet you
kink. I
they do.
bet you that is the next kink.
Bet
That is
you.
next.
I'm sure they do. Oh my gosh. We've
What?
got another entry. Nina, your chat's cracking me up here.
Are you sharing it in the private chat?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Robert.
I love Russell Hall. I love that you changed your picture to bubbles. That's amazing. Oh my god. Hang on, guys. Hang on. I'm sharing it. Oh my god. I have to multitask. Hang on. Here we go. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is amazing. You know it's gonna
Is that
happen.
Robert?
Yes.
Of course.
Thank
he
you,
was.
Robert.
Robert
I
Lowry.
love Robert.
Great job. We was employed. Okay. Russell Hall for $5 says sometimes I like to smear cat food all over my cheeks and let the little kitties come all over and lick them off. That's what Bubbles used to say. Bubbles said that.
Oh.
Because Bubbles is obsessed with cats in the show, and he'll just be like, he loves
Russell, I thought you were mistaking this for a Sex Addicts Anonymous meeting.
That's
like-
just everywhere now, Carrie.
kitties. It's Russell's kink. Oh my god. Oh, it's good. Russell Hall for $5 says there's no better feeling than dozen little miniature sandpaper tongues between your cheeks. I hate you, Russell Hall, but I also love you. For $2 says all Iranian chicks maintain smooth surfaces.
Do
It's
they?
true. It's just true. Most of them, yeah. We have to. We're very hairy. It's not, you know, you gotta maintain the lawn, you know.
I think Italian chicks have given up. It's like
You know who else gave up? Freaking Rachel McAdams. Have you guys seen what the hell's going on with her?
No.
Oh my god. I was like, what the hell, girl?
you mean like her.
Her pits. She's given up. She's like, Rachel McAdams' armpit hair sparks mixed reactions. That's just nasty.
I'm disappointed in her.
She's going up. She's going off.
Well, I'm going to give you the advice your mother gave me. Once you start, you can never stop. And I remember rolling my eyes about that and thinking, ugh, that's not the fun answer. But it's so true. Life is long. Shaving is intense.
It takes 5 minutes, girl. It takes 5 minutes. Okay, hold on. I need to show her armpit pictures.
It
She's
is
talking
not
about
fetch.
oh,
Ugh.
Look at
yeah, not a fan.
I'm not a fan either.
I think that women look disgusting with that, so I can't imagine how straight guys must feel. Because I see that and I'm like, ugh.
I would really like to know, straight guys in the chat, how do you feel about Rachel
They agree with me.
McAdams's hairy armpits? Like, I mean, it's just, I feel like
It's the equivalent of men with back hair.
I know it's gross, dude. I can't really see it from this, but
Those are the
fully
two
there.
hair deal breakers with men and women.
Now, a lot of people like are kind of like, it's kind of like a mixed group with Rachel McAdams. Like, some people are like, ew, and some people are like, get over yourselves. Like, women have to shave all the time. I'm kind of like, yeah, like, so yeah, I like being cleansy and I like being clean, and it doesn't take that long to shave. Like, I'm fine with that. But
And
you
also,
know.
women don't have to. Most women choose to. I hate it when they try and pretend like this is we're so oppressed, society makes us shave. No, it
Shave
doesn't.
your face.
The majority of us decide to shave our armpits. That's just what women have chosen. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Quit trying to pretend like this is a forced thing. I hate that.
Yeah, but okay, so yes and no, Carrie.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm going to be a devil's advocate here, because
Okay.
I feel like, especially in her industry, it is looked down on. Like, it's not one of those things where it's, you can do whatever you want. Because, like, let's say she did it. She just went out, with full pits. And a lot of people are judging her. And they're like, you're fucking gross. Like, shave your pits,
Yeah.
So, in society-wise, it is making women have to do it. Like, it's a kind of like a look. Maybe.
Oh, I still disagree. Oh, this is
Okay.
interesting that we just no, I still disagree, because you still have a choice. It reminds me of like the women who went along with like Louis C.K. or Harvey Weinstein, and then they were like, we were forced to, because why?
Yeah.
Well, because we wouldn't have worked. Okay, that's true. That's a consequence, but you still chose. You made that deal with the devil. You still had a choice. And it's like, if you look at something and you say, well, society will frown upon me as a woman if I don't shave my armpits. But you still have the choice. You don't have to go along with everything society says. That's my only point, is it's like,
I
you
agreed
could
with
still,
that.
and society would change if enough women said, you know what, we don't want to shave our pits, and we're not going to.
It is
But-
like that. Like in France, women don't
Right.
care. Women don't get, like, it's I
Right.
think it's a cultural
Culture
thing.
would change if if you just lived authentically what you wanted to do. I happen to think most women just would like to have, I think most women want to have clean shaven armpits, and
I do too.
I don't know.
I do too.
It's like the same as men with dresses. Like, they try to make that like some political issue. Take all of that out of it. Men look ridiculous in dresses. Look horrible.
I know. Like,
And women look terrible with armpit hair. So
Yeah.
it's
I
like,
don't get
it
the
evens
trend.
out. It evens out. You get to wear cute outfits. We get to have armpit hair.
You guys have cute outfits.
No, women get. If I were to go trans, it would only be for the fashion, because you guys get all the best.
That's
Wait,
amazing.
He's standing up, so I'll take it.
can I ask you, are you going to do the thing you threatened to do on Twitter, where you create a trans alter ego and see if you get sponsorships?
I am. I was working on.
Well, the secret's out now, Carrie. Goddamn, we're live.
He put it on Twitter.
No. I'm betting that these people are their brain is so rotted that I can just talk about it in the open, and I'll still get.
Oh, they won't even notice. This is true.
But I'm gonna
But I agree with you though, Mike, about men wearing skirts, because I'm like a huge fan of Brad Pitt, and like several months ago when his movie Bullet Train came out, he came out with this look, like on the red carpet.
Oh, get out of
And I was like, are you like, the sex drive died for me? Like, I was like, you're Brad Pitt. Like, why are you wearing a skirt? Like, no.
The only loophole with that are like kilts.
100% kilts.
Those like Irish,
fine.
Scottish men.
Yes.
Yeah,
wearing
kilts.
kilts, like, oh,
Yes.
I would fucking like he owed me money.
Oh my
Sorry,
God.
is it okay to curse on
Hell
here?
yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
Grumpy Old Ninja in your chats crack me up. Your mod says, I hate seeing men in dresses. I hated it even when Bugs Bunny did it. It wasn't right then, and it ain't right now.
Wolf Sing for $2 says Jonathan Majors channeling his inner Sean Connery. That's hilarious.
Please
What
tell
a
me you've
funny
seen
joke.
that video.
I have seen it.
It's so good.
He was never sorry.
Oh,
He's
he
like-
was. He gave.
He was like, I'd do it again. Bird Up for $5 says, I'm serious. Leave the balls alone. You don't want bleeding there. I've lived this trauma so that you don't have to. Wow, Bird Up. I'll take your word for it, bud. I'll take your
Let me tell you. I don't understand why guys want to go like ball down there. I was talked into it once and I regretted it. Oh, did I regret it?
Why?
It was drafty.
Were you wearing a skirt? Were you wearing a skirt?
I'm a patchy manscaper. That will be on my tombstone one day. Here lies Mike. He was a patchy manscaper. I can never get the manscaping right. Why am I talking about Aren't you glad you brought that?
That's very clever.
I love it. I freaking love it. 200-watt studios for $5 is between Quantum Mania and the Uber video, which was a major hit. Oh my god. We need the Uber video. That one will be a bigger hit than fucking Ant-Man for sure. Russell Hall for 2 says smooth pits and beehole are mandatory for chicks. Ew.
Do chicks get hairy assholes?
I didn't know that they do. I mean, mine is not hairy, so I don't know. I don't know what the fuck. Like what?
Come back, Carrie.
What the fuck?
We drove her
asshole
away.
is hairy as a woman. Like what? That's not.
I don't know these things. I'm getting an education.
You're like, dude. Like no, that's not something that happens.
She's getting crackers.
She's getting crackers.
How very white supremacist of you.
Very convenient timing. We're talking about shaved buttholes, and Carrie's like BRB. 201 Studios for 2 says, long as the carpet don't match the H pits, I'm good. Okay.
Ooh, I was gonna say, what do you mean? But my brain caught up.
What? People are saying, I don't believe you. All of them.
About what? The hairy asshole?
Yeah. Nobody has a hairy asshole. Well, at least not women.
Well,
I don't think they do. I don't believe you, Russell Hall. What kind of women are you with? I don't know what's going on. Okay. Speaking of weird, gross women, let's talk about Lizzo.
Must we?
We must. But we gotta wait until
or as we call her, the one person reverse conversion therapy. Like that's just turning dudes gay.
Oh God. It's just like every day she's in the news. Hi Carrie, welcome back. Russell Hall said this, and we were having an argument in the chat because I said women don't have hairy buttholes. But anyways.
Aren't you glad you came back?
Aren't you glad?
Who is this on screen? Is this Lizzo?
That is Lizzo. So
wait, what kind of crackers?
What kind of crackers did you get?
Important question.
They're just wheat.
Hold on.
No.
They're like fake wheat thins.
Oh, okay.
Are
they good?
Yeah, they taste just like wheat thins. One of the local grocery stores here. I say local, but it's at least a 15-minute drive. They don't have a lot of stuff, so you never know exactly what brands you're going to find there. I live kind of out in the country. Anyway, that's a boring story, but you asked what crackers. So.
No, I love it. My husband calls her Laura Ingalls from Little Texas House on the Prairie. It's really cute.
That's great.
So Lizzo was in the news again, of course, because she can't go 5 minutes without saying something dumb so that she can be in the news because, well, she's an attention seeker. I think she's a narcissist and constantly wants attention. So she constantly says things to get in the news. One of the things that does that for her is her views on her own body. Because most of the time people just don't really want to talk about her because why would we? But she's the one that always kind of brings it back to that. So Lizzo says that she is the beauty standard and calls out the constant discourse around her body. And this is what she had to say. Where's her little video? Oh my God, it was on here. Hang on. I'll refresh this. There it is. Come on, Instagram. There we go.
And doing my little routine. And you know what I realized? I am fucking gorgeous. I am the beauty standard. Catch up, bitch.
Exactly.
Her phone fell down.
My thoughts exactly.
And so now the idea is, this article was interesting to me because it kind of like explained a little bit more into what she said before in the past about her body standards. And it says, it would say that self-love queen Lizzo has never been shy about opening up conversations about body positivity and confidence, and has frequently called out toxic body standards online. Back in 2021, she got candid about the body positivity movement and its sometimes double standards. Quote, now the body positivity has been co-opted by all bodies, and people are finally celebrating medium and small girls, and people who occasionally get roles. Fat people are still getting the short end of this movement, she said on TikTok. We're still shit on. We're still getting talked about, memed, shamed, and no one cares anymore because it's like body positivity is for everybody. She added, yes, please be positive about your body. Please use our movement to empower yourself. That's the point. But the people who created this movement, big women, big brown and black queer women, are not benefiting from the mainstream success of it. No white women were involved in creating that movement. Our bodies are none of your fucking business, or health. Our health is none of your fucking business. All we ask is that you keep the same energy with the medium girls that you praise. Keep the same fucking energy. Since then, she's gone on and found her own lingerie and shapewear brand Giddy, which she proudly declares is for every damn body. So first of all,
did she say she was getting shit on? Did she say she was getting shit on?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She could get shit on and no one would know the difference. You would be like, oh, those are just her roles. Because she looks like shit.
Well, it's funny because, the reason she's saying that is because last week, she posted like a naked pictures of herself. And she like on thing, and she didn't like edit it, like she didn't Photoshop it, and she's like, I'm going all natural, and you could like literally people were like, you have 4 boobs, because it was like just like a lot of rolls. I can't even show it on here because I don't know if like YouTube's okay with that. But like it was just really bad, and so a lot of people are like, dude, you are unhealthy, like your body size is unhealthy. Like body positivity movements gotten out of hand because there's a lot of people that are, a lot of girls especially look up to people like Lizzo, and so they are constantly being told that this body type is beautiful, that this body type is okay, this is a healthy lifestyle. And I think that this is so wrong because we're putting that kind of mentality of like, for example, someone went off at me the other day about how Lizzo is more healthy than everybody else because she exercises and dances. And I'm like, that's not how things work. Like that's not how the force works. Like I'm just like, no, that's not it. What am I sharing here, Carrie? What's going on?
Oh, you don't have to share it right now. I was going to tell you, just it's a Calvin Hobbes cartoon. It's old. It's about self-esteem. And I think part of what we're seeing with woke, at least when it comes to the body positivity and the fat positivity part of woke, is it comes from this self-esteem movement that was happening a long time ago, that started a long time ago, where there's no losers, everybody's a winner, everyone's a trophy, there can be no standards. And why? So that we all feel good, so our self-esteem is good. And so that's how you get to a place where an obese person is saying, I'm the beauty standard. You're not. I'm sorry. We have standards in everything, playing basketball, playing a clarinet, math, aeronautics, like we
nuclear
have
technician,
nuclear technician,
thief, like fucking luggage thief.
Exactly. And to pretend like we're at this place now where woke is like demanding that we get rid of all
Standards.
meritocracy, all standards, everyone's equal. There is no size that's more beautiful or healthy than any other. And it's just not true. Just like it's not true in math, and it's not true in basketball, and it's not true in all these other areas. Like, so I just think I think it grows out of that. You don't have to show that cartoon. Just the Calvin and Hobbes, if you guys want to see it, look up self-esteem, Calvin and Hobbes. And it was so ahead of its time, and like pointing out that, in order to feel good, let's get rid of all standards.
Well, we can show it. You posted it here. Here it is.
Yeah.
Aren't you supposed to be doing your homework now? I quit doing homework. Homework is bad for my self-esteem. That's funny. Is it? Sure, it sends the message that I don't know enough. All that emphasis on right answers makes me feel bad when I get them wrong. So instead of trying to learn, I'm concentrating on liking myself the way I am.
That's like obese. No problem. Like yourself the way you are.
Yeah, that is really interesting. I mean, I remember that movement when that started, and it was like, but I had grown up to know that there was standards, we had standards. Like, for example, I was a ballerina. Now, mind you, I didn't have a very good time in ballet, and I think ballet has its own toxic situation because it gave me body image issues. I was told that my boobs are too big to be a ballerina. Wow. And I would tape myself and try and look smaller. And there's, I had body image issues with my weight even. So I became anorexic for a bit. There was, I struggled with that. That's why the movie Black Swan really nailed the ballet culture for me. Wow. I was like, oh, this is actually really it's very true. A lot of the stuff that was in that movie was very true. And it's the idea that but even in ballet, there's standards. There's the standard of you're either you're petite, you're this size, blah, blah, blah. And now you're, there's levels of everything and dance and in movement and all this stuff. And it taught me that it needed, that needs to happen. And sometimes you don't make the cut. You just don't make the cut because you are not good enough to make the cut. And that's okay because there's other people that are. But now we've got to this culture where, well, actually the other day, this really bothered me. I think that you may have seen it, Carrie. Did you see that trans person was doing the ballet as a girl?
Oh, yeah, and he's 7 feet tall.
It was so upsetting because I was I remember when you had to have there was standards for ballerinas, and you had to be a certain size and you had to be a certain shape and you had to have small boobs and you had to have, there's all these different things. And now it's well, now a man can be a fucking ballerina as a woman because men were always ballerinas. There was a lot of male ballerinas, but they were just different. They didn't wear tutus.
It's so
this all comes from this ridiculous idea that if there's something wrong with you, it's not you that needs to change. It's the world that needs to change. It's society that needs to. It's society.
Everybody else.
Society made Lizzo a big fat slob. And it's all about this self-love. You always hear them say, love yourself, love yourself. When do you ever hear these bitches say, respect yourself?
Yeah.
Lizzo, I believe she loves herself. I believe that all day long. But does she respect herself?
Yeah.
And if you don't respect yourself, then that's not true love, because love is selfless. So I love you, Lizzo, and that is why I will tell you the truth. I will love and respect you enough to tell you the truth that you are a big fat lady. I refuse lost weight and it felt so great. I've gotten a little bit chunky now and I'm going to lose that weight. I got a couple more pounds than I'd like at the moment. I'm going to lose it and it's going to feel amazing because that is what self-respect does. We can't love every single thing about ourselves. Should I have loved the fact that I was a chain smoker for years? No, I quit smoking because that was a bad thing that I needed to change. It wasn't society that made me smoke cigarettes. Oh, I can't with these people.
It's weird, man. And you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And they're driving me crazy because I'm all like, why are you telling these young women that they can be fucking 300 pounds and that's somehow acceptable? Like, what about heart disease? Like, did we not, like, have we not gone through this? And the other part that really bothers me is like people like Lizzo that, just kind of go around like saying all these different things about health and how they're healthy and, all this kind of stuff. They're the ones that made everybody else, get that thing in their arm because they were like, oh, like I need you to become healthy because of me, because I have all these. I need you to put that fucking cloth over your face because I need you, like I need to be healthy. Even though we were told by doctors and by like, a lot of people in the medical industry that overweight people, get it a lot faster and it can deteriorate in overweight people a lot more. But that didn't matter. None of that mattered. It's like, and we all had to change ourselves so that they're more comfortable. And it makes me nuts. I'm like, how the fuck did we get here?
Yes.
But I need you to lose about 150 pounds for me, Lizzo. Since that's what it's always been about, other people's health, just kindness and concern for others, then I need you to show that self-love and care and empathy and concern for me and drop 150 pounds.
Yes.
Russell Hall for $2 says most women grow hair down to, okay, we got that one. Why did I read that again? Russell Hall for $2 says that's why Brazilian wax is finished between the cheeks. Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point. Bird Up for $5 says, Jesus, every time I see a new picture of Lizzo, it looks like she just ate the previous Lizzo.
They're like Russian dolls.
Except they don't get smaller as you take them out. They get bigger. Oh. Brian says for $5, can we go back to when Cindy Crawford set was the beauty standard, please? Yes. Please. Can we just do that? That would be great. And can we go back to when shaving your pits was okay too? That's great. You guys know I'm playing that. I'm playing that new. Well, it's not new, but I'm playing the Conan Exiles game with my friends online. And in the game, my character was like had hairy pits. And I was like, ugh, like, I don't want hairy pits. So I made our server person like put a mod so I can shave the pits of my character. And I did. Awesome. So that tells you where I stand.
Your priorities. I love it.
Yeah. My priorities. Okay. One last topic I wanted to go over. This was very interesting to me because I have a love-hate relationship with AI and robots. Mostly hate.
Yes.
Because I think that they're going to take over the world and
you
kill us all.
You and me, Nina. I'm with you.
Yeah. Kill it. Whatever. I mean, the AI, I mean. Like just no.
Yup.
So this was in the news and I thought was interesting. AI generated fake Drake and Weeknd collaboration. Heart on my sleeve delights fans and sets off industry alarm bells. The sound-alike song in question began to disappear from streaming services throughout the day on Monday. Universal Music was identified by YouTube as being behind takedown notices sent to DSPs. Now, did you guys hear about this story?
No.
Okay, so basically what happened was, you know what? I'm going to read this because it'll sound better than me retelling it. Are you ready for deepfake Drake? Many fans are, at least, as an amusing lark, as an apparently artificial intelligence generated collaboration between Drake and The Weeknd began to go viral over the weekend for how closely the styles of the two superstars are mimicked in the track titled Heart on My Sleeve. I listened to the song, by the way, and it sounded exactly like them. Like it was uncanny. I was like, of course. Now my problem with it though, but at the same time, I also think it's a double-edged sword because the reason it was so good is because both Drake and The Weeknd constantly use the auto tune.
The auto tune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the auto tune sounds like AI already.
Yeah.
So you can't really tell them apart. And it's going to become really tricky to be able to tell these things apart. But with the advent of AI, with this creation and stuff like that, it might bring back actual singing because they can't really mimic the human voice, right?
Yes.
So like maybe more artists will be able to actually start being able to sing properly and get famous for their voices again.
Yes.
It's no joke though to artists and labels wondering whether such sound-alike tracks can quickly be quashed and whether gullible fans may have a hard time telling the difference in the trend accelerates. Wait, what is that sound?
I'm hearing it too.
Oh, it sounds like somebody's vibrator is going off.
Put my phone on Do Not Disturb.
Oh, I thought it was
use
on
my
my
phone's
end.
camera.
Okay.
Sorry.
Damn, Mike. I was like, why is your vibrator going off in the middle of my stream? What is going on?
I should have said that's what it was. That would be way more. Sorry, my dad was
That's
calling
okay.
me.
That's okay. As Monday began, Heart on My Sleeve was racking up enough listen views that it appeared to be on track to become charting song when this week's chart results are released next Monday. However, DSPs began deleting the track during the day, presumably under the pressure from Universal Music Group. After initially disappearing from the title, I don't even know what that is, and Apple Music, it also became invisible in Spotify search results and was grayed out and unplayable on the bookmark page. Universal provided Variety with a statement about how it plans to deal with AI-generated music, but the company did not respond specifically to the request for comment on whether it was issuing takedown notices Heart on My Sleeve, but that finally became clear when YouTube became the last of the major DSPs to remove the song. With the message that read, "This video is no longer available due to the copyright claim by Universal Music Group." I mean, I'm shocked that it took them that long because the second I play a fucking music group with a music thing, within 2 seconds, they're like, "Your thing has been claimed because you're playing music." It's like, the fuck? Like, these guys are literally ripping off artists.
Well,
which leads to the question. Sorry, are we gonna
well,
say something?
the issue and the new issue, the new just practical questions that come up is, how do they police it? Because it's not like when you and I get copyright claimed, is because the algorithm, they've already they're like, oh, the algorithm can tell that's a song. Here's the song. You know, it's in a database.
Yes.
This is a new song, but with copyrighted, I would argue, voices. Somebody else, you don't have permission to use The Weeknd's voice. So the algorithm's not set up to be like, that's The Weeknd's voice. You know, they're going to have to figure out the algorithms to be able to even catch this stuff.
The AI algorithm is not intelligent enough yet to pick up the AI voice, but it will be.
It will be
soon.
They can program it. Which leads to the question: if the song itself is an original composition, can you copyright a voice? Universal obviously would answer that in the affirmative, and there's legal precedence for that position dating back before the advent of AI. Although it seems inevitable, the issue will wind up in courts. The mystery account behind the AI song, identified as Ghostwriter, left no clues about how the imitative track was brought into being, or what information was fed into programs to create it. But in 2 minutes and 16 seconds, Hard My Sleeve consists of 2 distinct verses and a chorus sung by voices distinctly resembling the 2 stars, with lyrics referring to Selena Gomez, who was reported to have been dating The Weeknd in the mid-2010s. Simple lyrics: I came in with my ex like Selena to flex. I bumping Justin Bieber. The fever ain't left. And
Ooh,
talking
the
to
AI
a
is
diva.
shady too. It's
Diva.
not just an AI; it's a bitchy AI.
Yeah, it's a bitchy AI. I mean, it's funny because I did the chat GPT thing where I told it to like write a new Tupac song, and it was pretty good. Like it did a Tupac song because I was like, write a Tupac song based on like his works about COVID and like, you know, the lefties. It was a really good song too. I was like, man, this is what Tupac would say right now. But I didn't have the chat GPT to make the voice sing it. But now apparently you can do that. So this is the craziest shit. Talking to a diva, yeah, she on my nerves. She think that I need her, kick her to the curb. That sounds like Jonathan Majors. All I know is you could have had the world. Yeah, you were my world. Some are wondering if Drake and The Weeknd were picked arbitrary for such a convincing cloning, which seems plausible given their reigning superstar status, or if they were practically selected for padding because Drake and Universal Music Groups have shown public apathy towards AI in the creation of sound-like music in recent weeks. Last week, UMG asked the major streaming service to block AI companies from scrapping the music they host to create imitations. Drake posted a headline about that, along with a mention of viral recording that had sounded like his voice rapping the lyrics to Ice Spice's Munch, with the caption, "This is the last straw AI." It seems as though Drake's comments at the time might have been tongue-in-cheek, but it's possible he'll have a less tolerant attitude now that original songs are being released using facsimile of his voice or a vocal likeness. So that's where we're standing right now. And I mean, I've seen the new like some of the new AI stuff that they've done for politicians. Like they did that for Biden, where he was saying all sorts of weird, crazy shit. So they can program the voices to talk, and now they can do, of course, the facial, the the face and everything like that too. So where are we going to go with this with regards to actually the news? Like, are we going to be able to believe anything we see anymore on TV at certain points? Because it seems like the AI, whether it's image generated or voice generator, is going to be taking over. So what are your guys' thoughts? Mike, go for it.
I feel like this is basically like artistic rape. Like there's a real consent issue when they're using people's faces and people's voices and people's talents. I can't stand, even if it's somebody I don't like Biden or AOC, I don't even like when people post the deep fake stuff, even when it's supposed to be a joke. Like, I feel like people really aren't thinking about where this is going to lead. And the AI, I hate even using this term, but they call it AI art. I try not to overuse these, but they're very applicable here. It's horrible. Most of the things are just ripping off other artists. Even a friend of mine, I was at his apartment recently, and he's an artist. He's not even like a famous artist, but his stuff is known enough. And he has his paintings on his wall. And I'm like, this is all the stuff that his paintings are years old. This is all the style that they're using for the models of AI. So I think it's terrible. I don't know. I feel like maybe the laws need to catch up to technology.
Well, that's something that needs to be addressed. And this article was saying that they're going to be going to court. They would have to, because it's like and you're right, because I feel a little bit like that too, because it feels like AI art feels weird, and it feels like it is a form of theft. But is it? Because what you're really doing is like you're basically feeding code of thousands of AI images into like this,
but
the code.
If I'm an artist, I did not give you permission to use my art or my photography with your robot to create inferior anti-human crap.
Right.
And I get really angry about this as well. Surprisingly, we have
Carrie, you got to debate Shadversity about this because he's hard into AI art and he thinks
Oh
it's
my.
good. Like
No.
he has a very interesting arguments about why it's a good thing.
We just did a whole episode of my Wednesday night show is called Popped Culture. My co-host is Mystery Chris. We did a whole episode called Why AI Art Sucks. I encourage you to go watch it, but we covered some of the copyright issues, but more importantly, just our unease about it. Some people, like you said, you have unease about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know why it bothers me? It's like, it's uncanny valley. It's there's no human joy. There's no spark of joy there, in my opinion. It's robots copying human creativity and using human creations that they don't have a right to use to do so. And so there are going to be lots of copyright cases. The other thing it does is it steals jobs from actual artists, like human artists. There are some popular hashtags now on Twitter, hashtag human art, hashtag no AI. There are resistance artists who are creating, memes and stuff about like use a human artist. And I think it's cheap, and I think cheap people use it. And I think it's I just feel like hire a human who's talented. Somebody said in the chat earlier, they had a question. Here's a great thing about stealing a voice. You don't have a right to steal The Weeknd's voice and use it for what you want. In my opinion, you don't. If he hasn't given you permission to do so, and especially to rip off. Now, part of this is his fault, like you mentioned. Popular music has become so crappy, and so it uses so much AI already, so much of the algorithm already, that this song was probably indistinguishable from what passes as popular radio music today. And I listen to a lot of, one of my gig jobs on Saturdays is I get to listen to a lot of popular music that young people select, and it's terrible. And it's like it's not that far from AI generated songs anyway. So part of it is on them that they can't even tell the difference because they're used to listening to that crap. If you go back and listen to who's the guy? Richie Valens. If you go back and listen to La Bamba, they used to record songs. Okay, think about this. The whole band would go into a recording studio. All the musicians would be there. Look at some of the Beatles recording some of their old songs. All the musicians would be there. They would do a few takes. They would be like, that's it, cut, go. Now it's like, this musician comes in this day, another musician comes in this day. They do the instruments separately. Sometimes they don't even use real instruments. The singer is not a musician, doesn't even play music. They doesn't know any, you know what I mean? Like they auto-tune the crap out of the voice. And if you go back and listen to those old songs like La Bamba, there are mistakes in it. My husband pointed this out to me. He's a musician. There are mistakes in it. That's humanity. That's human joy. And it sounds beautiful. And you listen to that now and you're like, why doesn't popular music sound like this? Because it's too perfected by robots. It's sterile and disgusting. Like I get really passionate about this because I care about human creation. Like
I do too.
Human creators. And I have appreciation for people who have talents that I don't have. And I hate to see them, whether they're singers or artists, musicians, what have you. I hate to see them replaced by soulless algorithms and code.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, there's a great video, a great channel, one of my favorite channels on YouTube. There's a great video though that illustrates this perfectly. It's called "Why the Music in Disney Remakes is Worse Than You Thought It Was." It's this channel called Sideways, and he breaks down the music. So the Disney, like Beauty and the Beast, for example, Emma Watson, it's a computer singing. There's nobody behind that. It's like, and actually in the Lion King remake, there's a song where they auto-tuned the wrong notes. They put the wrong notes in the song. But he compared the Beauty and the Beast remake with Emma Watson's auto-tune to the original Beauty and the Beast, where an actual woman sang it. And he's pointing out all the different parts. There's one moment in it where you can hear her smiling. You can hear mistakes. You can hear the inflection, the breath, and there's just none of that now. And that's why all these things, whether it's Disney remakes, whether it's AI, I feel like Disney remakes are kind of the film equivalent of AI art.
I agree. my
step below
God, make
that.
them stop for fuck's sakes. I'm so over Disney remakes.
But AI art is
Harry knows.
basically like, if
She's
AI art is art, Megan Mathregan is a person.
Exactly.
It's the
Mm.
Megan of art.
Did you guys see that creepy AI woman that they didn't even like first of all, they have them now in
Okay.
Russia that they're like just like AI like telecast people, and they're just like telling the news, and they're AI women. And also there was like another AI, like now they're selling AI art nudes, like AI women. So they're like selling and they're catfishing men to think that they're like actual women. So they're making like AI OnlyFans of like nude women, and then they're like sending AI nude boobs or whatever to people. It's just like, what the is that? Like, what?
Well,
I can't believe people are doing this.
That's what I was just going to say. I think I know there was already one case of it, but that is coming any day now. AI porn with people, like of actual people. And I feel like that's why it's kind of a conversation that needs to be had when it comes to artwork, when it comes to faces and voices, the issue of consent, because we're about to be faced with that in a big way once it comes to AI porn.
Well, and this is what's, and I think you're right on that, but like that's the thing though, Carrie, and that's what scares me is the idea that because AI is improving every day.
Yes.
So that's why I think to myself, like, when will it be that we can't tell the difference anymore? Because I think that there will be a point, because right now I can't do fingers correctly. There's certain
Right.
things that you can tell immediately. But then there's certain times where I've had people show me two different arts and they're like, okay, pick which one's the AI art. And sometimes I picked wrong because
Right.
I'm like, ooh, I didn't know that was AI art and it looked really beautiful. So I think to myself, oh, I'm pretty sure that's a human. Then they're like, no, you're wrong. Like, you know, and so it becomes to a point where that freaks me out. Like knowing that I'm going to be manipulated into thinking that something was created by a human being, especially when it comes to the news or me being aware of what's going on out there.
Right.
Like, you know, like public figures, especially politicians, having that kind of power now, because we don't necessarily need to see them anymore. Now they're just gonna be there. I mean, we already kind of know that. We've been going down that road for a while with Biden. A lot, like especially at first when he started out, there was like all these conspiracy theories, quote unquote, that he was like in front of a green screen and he wasn't really there, and like, you know, all this stuff. And now, is it really that far-fetched? I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so.
It's not that far-fetched.
He's
And
basically the AI president.
Weekend at Bernie's AI.
Oh my God. It's going to get really creepy very, very soon. And I hate it. But hey, I'm here to talk about it though. I love how Carrie got so passionate about it. These AI people. I want you and Shad to be talking about this because Shad is into AI art, like hard.
I will talk with him because I do want someone to, what is it called? Not Iron Man, my argument. What's it called when you Steel Man? I want someone to Steel Man my argument and make it better because I'm sure there are gaps and things and I know there are positives to it. I do. I'm not saying there are no positives. It's just I think the negatives are overwhelming and somebody in your chat was joking like they're taking their jobs and it's true though.
Integrity.
I feel for the artists. The artists are like they're taking their jobs and it's true. You're giving these jobs to robots. Don't let the robots
the
win.
freaking robots. Leo Fisher, thank you so much for the $20. That is so generous. Says AI programmed by human. Remember, old computers saying garbage in, garbage out. And that's true too. It depends on the programmers. It all depends on the programmers.
True.
That's why I say AI is not ready, because we are not ready. Humans are not ready to be birthing AI. We can barely keep up with birthing our own people. Like, stop it.
We don't know what men or women are.
Like, we don't even know what a woman is anymore. Like, we don't even know. Like, why are we doing this? We need to stop. Even freaking Elon Musk is starting to agree now. They all wrote a letter saying like, we got to slow down on this AI thing because it's getting out of control. Russell Hall for $2 says, make the creators of AI liable for what AI does. I agree with that.
Ooh, I like that.
I agree with that. I think that's a good idea. Patriotic Gastal, thank you so much for the $5. Says, I don't know. AI just proves the Bible verse. There's nothing new under the sun. Okay, thank you. Wolfsbane for 5 says, I agree in using other people's art in AI program, but I disagree with that it's a bad wholesale. It doesn't take much to get a style for yourself, like 50. This is true too. And Russell Hall for $2 says, Anna's done some pretty raunchy AI porn. That is not true, Russell Hall. How dare you? Stop it. Stop it. Wolfsbane for 5 says, also, it could be used for filler work while prioritizing more important aspects, especially in animation. Also, check out Corridor Digital. Okay, I don't know what that is. I'll have to look it up. What is that? Corridor Digital. Is that that's a VFX company.
Yeah, I've done little like backgrounds that were, but I probably shouldn't even do that.
It's 100% true, Russell Hall. I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. Just no, Russell. Quit spreading that kind of shit around.
How dare you?
Oh my God. It's been an absolute pleasure, you guys. Tonight has been so much fun to talk to you. Mike, tell everyone where they can find you.
Okay, everybody, I am an aspiring grifter. It is my goal this year to be full-time grifter. So come watch my show, hang out on my channel, watch my videos. I have a video coming out of Jeffrey Marsh where I'm going to channel my creepiest Jeffrey Marsh. Tomorrow is my birthday show on Microaggressed. My birthday is the next day, but the birthday show tomorrow. And this lovely lady, you have to come on my show soon.
Absolutely, 100%. So how old are you going to be now? Like 21? How old are you turning?
You have to come on my show. 22, actually.
You can finally drink. Oh my God.
I love
you. Russell Hall for 2 says, it's true. Deepfake Anna's been a bad girl. Russell.
Which Anna? I hope he's not talking about like my mom.
Star Wars.
I thought so.
He's talking about that Star Wars girl. Well, deepfake is not the same as Anna. That's deepfake. No. That's uncool. But yeah. Mike, freaking happy birthday, dude. And thank you so much for coming on. You've been an absolute pleasure to hang out with. Carrie with a hat. Laura Ingalls, little Texas house on the prairie. You tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me at Deprogram with Carrie Smith here on YouTube, wherever you find podcasts. And you can find me on different socials at Real Carrie Smith. And I will be on Mikey's birthday show tomorrow.
Nice. And everybody's wishing Mike a happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
And yeah, you were saying, Mike, I just you said something and it just like totally escaped my mind. Oh yeah, you were saying you wanted to grift hard.
I'm trying.
I saw somebody tell you today that like dance monkey and because you're not grifting enough or whatever, and you were like or what was it, like you're like, I need a righty grifter or something, or grift daddy.
I have fundamentalist backers.
That's what it was. You have fundamentalist
backers. For fundamentalist backers in the wallet and in the bedroom.
Yes.
Just throwing that. Just saying.
Guys, if you're a fundy and you want to back Mike, you do that. Go do it.
I will say, if you want to join, I've channel memberships now, and I have my locals community, and we do fun stuff. We do like hangouts on here, and we're having movie night this week. We're gonna watch. Have you seen this movie, Karen?
Yes. Oh my God. Oh no, I haven't. But I watched Az's review of it, and I was like, that's enough.
It's about an evil white woman being evil and white.
So white.
So we're gonna watch it like over.
Carrie, have you seen it?
No, I've only seen the trailer. I want to see it.
I watched Az's
come watch
review.
with you guys. Come watch with us. I've been waiting for my friends on locals to watch it with them.
Okay.
So we just like get on Zoom and shit on different movies and watch them.
That sounds like fun. Do you do that live or do you do that like just for fun?
Yeah, well, it's not like broadcast, it's just like a Zoom thing.
Oh,
But so we
okay,
watch
cool.
it live on Zoom. And
Karen is an
pause a lot
amazing
to rant.
Say that again.
Oh, I just said we watch it over Zoom and we'll like occasionally pause to rant.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Karen's an amazing comedy. Yeah, you would think that that's what it would be, that it's a freaking comedy. Russell Halford 2 says, what exactly do you mean by back mic? You know what I meant.
I'm taking an assortment of offers.
You can back him however you want, Russell. He's into all of it.
Russell, I thought you already said you're not going to loan Mike money. Don't back him in any way.
Oh my God. You guys have been wonderful. Thank you so much, chat and Rumble. You guys have been awesome too. I see you guys over there in the Rumblesies. Thank you everybody for watching today. As for me, you can catch me on my own channel on Friday to balance out this crazy world with Infinite Hope, because we need that white pill, man. We need to remember that there's still good things happening in this world. There's still good people out there and they're doing good things. And there always is. I will remind you of it. Come and hang out with me Fridays at 2 Eastern. And of course, I will be playing more Conan at some point because I'm now addicted to Conan. Thank you again to my guests and to the chat. Thank you guys so very much, especially to those of you who super chatted, who supported the channel, gifted memberships, became a member, all that good stuff. Extra thank you to you. And otherwise, everybody else, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. You guys are all fantastic. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.